So the first card I'm going to pull today is from the Sacred Herbal deck from Maya Toll. I really felt drawn to, just as the earth is awakening here. Connect with the energy of nature. And if you have a specific question or specific energy that you're dealing with, you can definitely bring that to the cards right now. My general invitation is just for support. What do we most need to know to come into a space of trust and center as a collective? And at this time, I thank all my angels, guides, energies, the angels, guides, energies, and beings that are here with us today, listening, knowing that I ask all these beings to work with us for the good and only the highest good, to bring us into greater clarity, wisdom, peace, and grace. So the first card that's coming, we've had this one before. So this is a good one. This is Quaking Aspen, and it's We Are One. And Quaking Aspen, as you can see, aspen trees are the beautiful trees before they get big, tall, but they're tall and slender normally. And they shake, they move a lot, right? In a big storm, they can move and be shaken and seem like they're gonna fall. They can seem quite unstable. And in this picture, you can see how they're holding hands. Their roots are intertwined. They have a deep system, both connected and then on their own. And so when this card comes up, it's the reminder, two things come to me around this. So number one, to remember that in the process of all and everything that you're going through, you are not alone. You are not, and I see this with my clients all the time, with my friends, my colleagues. Each of us is going through a very similar experience, just within our own movie or our own storyline, right? And so it's really important to remember that we are not alone. And when things are hard and tense and heavy or chaotic, that many, if not all people are going through the same thing on all level, right? We're part of that bigger ocean and we're a drop in the ocean. And so it's all connected. But what comes to me even more around that is the sense of we are also feeling and drawing off the collective uncertainty and collective chaos that's going on. So as we're doing this work of coming into center, or as we're doing this work of coming into a space of like, okay, I can trust, or I can choose what's going to bring me in alignment within all that is, it can be very difficult to do so because we're feeling, sensing, moving on some level from the energies of all. And many of us, and I'm not saying this in judgment, but many of us aren't aware, or we're not in a space of emotional intelligence or energetic intelligence, right? We're being pulled this way and that way. There's a lot of people that are really in their stories or really attached to their beliefs and their opinions. And so as we're doing this work of coming home to ourselves, it's really important to remember that a lot of the intensity we're feeling, a lot of the anxiety we might feel, or the anger or the stress, it may not be wholly and completely ours. Some of it for sure. But how much is that collective? How much is running through our family unit? How much of it is ancestral, right? We are one and part of the whole, all of it. And so one of the things that might be really helpful is for us to come to a space of discernment, of really being in the question of, is this mine? Oh my God. And if it's not, how do I find my boundaries around that? Or how do I come back to a space of center? Not in, I don't want to be connected, but I can find myself, just as we see with these beautiful aspen trees. They've got their own roots too. I can feel my own roots, and I can be connected to that higher support without running its energy. And I think this is a really, really big and powerful one. Being in that question of, is this mine? And then remembering, as you ride that roller coaster too, that you are not alone. We are all in it. So very, very powerful. I think the second card I'm going to pick today is a Sacred Geometry card. And these are some of my favorite cards. They're from Hawaii artist named Francine Hart. She lives in the Big Island. She just does beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork mixing nature and sacred geometry. And so again, feel free to put your own question into here, but the question I'm just bringing is, what support or advice is needed right now for ourselves as a collective and unique individuals to come back to center and to find our home, our trust, to find that discernment to say yes to our highest truth. Oh, so this is a beautiful, beautiful card. It carries with it the energy of the triangle and a heart. And you can't, I don't think you're able to see super close. The triangle and the heart is right in the center, right? And it's wild orchids. It's the energy of wild orchids. And so when I see this card and this space of the card, the first thing I see is the energy of the triangle, and that triangle pointing downward, which to me is very much that divine feminine energy, and is the energy of Shakti, or the energy of the pure creative force and essence that wants to rise up through us. It's like life wanting to burst forth in this grounded and beautiful way. The heart in the center, right, is inviting us to come into our heart space, obviously, but to come into what nourishes us and what nurtures us. So when we think of a triangle, right, it's a very stable energy. It's a very directed energy, and it's a very safe energy. It's sort of like, I have the support of, we could say, heaven and earth in the mix of all three, right? And of life. I have the support of all of life right now for me to connect into the deep energy of the divine feminine that's wanting to upswirl through us all. Men too, it's not just for females. And I can allow it to do so in a way that feels safe, grounded, and can connect me, I'm going to say even more than heart, to my higher purpose. And when I think of orchids and the energy of orchids, and she doesn't really depict that very much in this picture, but you can see they're just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flowers. There's also a dragonfly in the picture. Where's that dragonfly? Right there. And the dragonfly to me represents freedom. If you know the Gene Keys, it's all about the 55th Gene Keys and the energy of freedom and metamorphosis, really. And so when we think about orchids, orchids grow on very little soil. They can grow on rocks. They grow on trees, right? They grow without a lot of foundation, right? And yet they can thrive in these really hot, humid environments without a lot of earth and blossom into their fullest extent. And so when I see this card, and what really comes up for me around this card and this energy is, not only is it like, okay, embrace your creativity, trust the femininity, trust the Shakti, trust the power that's wanting to come up for you to reclaim yourself, your embodied wisdom, and your truth. But don't worry if it feels chaotic around you. Don't worry if the earth seems to be changing underneath your feet, because you're going to thrive. We're all going to thrive. Things must collapse before we can rise, right? And so I feel very strongly that that's the message, is to really trust in the process. Don't worry if things feel out of control. And again, come back to heart, come back to truth, and ask for wisdom from your belly, right? From that space of the divine feminine. Does this feel right and resonant to me? If not your belly, your body. Okay, so Ascended Master Oracle cards, just a quick one here. These are usually really quick. Just, again, they're a clear message for us to support us in coming home and coming into space with ourself, our being. Really gentle, beautiful. We're getting really beautiful, peaceful cards so far today. It's the Peace Offering with White Buffalo, Calf Woman. And this to me is, again, what is happening now is the beginning, the very beginning of the return of the light. When we think about the mystical energy of the White Buffalo Calf Woman, this is from Native Americans in the United States, this energy of the white buffalo who's going to come and reborn and sort of, I don't know if it's like save the world, but re-bring life, bring the connection to nature and the rightness to the world and to the being. And that is what's happening. We've been in such an imbalance, right? And now everything's breaking apart so we can come into balance. And so that rebirth can happen. And that first card I drew, the We Are One, that has to do with it in the sense of like, we're not separate for what needs to break apart. We're not separate to the chaos. We have to break apart our patterns, our truths, our identity. Loss of identity is a huge one these days, right? And we're here to trust in that process. And I think that card is saying as we trust in that process, it's really, really important for us to be gentle with ourselves, to be gentle with our process, and to trust the timeline. And to know it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be any of those negative emotions, right? And they are part of the parcel of this evolving experience. So how do we come back to ourselves, right? And in doing that, how do we break the patterns where we've self-sacrificed, where we have given away, we've said yes because it's easier or because it's the right thing to do, right? And how do we instead say, okay, I can't control this situation, or I'm gonna go with the flow, but I also have to choose to do this in the meantime to bring me into a space of balance. And that can be scary, and that can bring up a lot. And so again, this energy of this peace offering, gentleness to ourselves, gentleness, and then gentleness to those around us too. Even though it doesn't seem like it at times, they are definitely doing the best they can. All beings are. We just all have different awareness and different places we're orienting from. And those of us that are here today watching this are probably orienting from a place of wanting a lot of peace and well-being, not to move from fear, right? And others might be moving from a place more of fear or anger or control, and again, where can we find a gentleness within ourselves and even towards them? Doesn't mean we have to like what they're doing, but it also means we can say, okay, this is part of the evolving plan. So for our last card, my Rider-Waite deck, traditional tarot, there's one last message for us today. What do we most need to know? This is a good one. Not the easiest one, but a good one. Not the hardest one either. It's the 8 of Cups. We have to do this. We're on this journey. For me, this is around identity, right? For you, it might be around something else. But we have to leave what is safe, what is comfortable, what we love, what we wanted, right? Like, and again, it doesn't need to mean anything huge. It might mean something huge. It might mean leaving your job. It might mean shifting a relationship. It might just mean leaving behind a sense of who you were and how you thought you were meant to be in this world, right? We're not here to continue the story that we've been perpetuating for the past 5 lifetimes, 20 lifetimes. We have the ground now. We have the support now that we're here to walk away from that safety and that comfort into that new world and that new space. And that is what's happening. That is what's shifting for our world, for ourselves, for the collective. And it's hard because we liked it. I mean, we might not have liked all of it, but we liked it. It was pretty good. It was like, I got this. I know how to trust. I know what to do. And it's like, no, like we're opening into an experience that is beyond whatever we could dream. And hopefully it happens in our lifetime. Maybe it won't. I mean, I'll be honest. Who knows what the timeline is, right? But it's like, we're here to open beyond our wildest dreams and to do that, we must step away from that space of safety and comfort. And so to know as we're doing this, remember, we are not alone. We have support. We can grow and blossom in so many circumstances. The divine feminine is flowing through us. And we just want to open to it as gently as we can, remembering what we can't control and what is out of our realm of being able to direct energy. This is just an opportunity for us to turn to ourselves. Okay, well, within this, what can I control? What can I do? How can I support myself? What do I need? And how do I make that happen? How do I open to that? So really, really powerful work we're doing. Powerful times we're in. And take a moment and feel your sit bones, and feel your heart, and feel that beautiful shower of light from heaven. And know that all that is right now in your life, in your experience, in this world, is part of a divine plan. Send you all so much love. Thank you for your time. Namaste.